right troops. So what's in the menu today? Do you find that your burpee mobility is an issue? Do you struggle to get into those positions which allow your burpees to flow like wine? Do you find that your burpees resemble someone who has stumbled out of a nightclub holding a kebab on a Saturday night? If that's the case, then this video is for you. What I'm going to do is show you guys a mobility drill or a mobility routine which will warm up the body before doing burpees, and also something that can be done on a daily basis to allow you to gain the mobility to perform smooth and aesthetic burpees. So how do we start? We have to identify the body parts which come into play during a burpee, and these body parts tend to be ankles, knees, hips and shoulders. These are probably the most important body parts when it comes to performing smooth burpees. The first protocol is establishing ankle mobility and learning how to increase ankle mobility. So how do we increase ankle mobility? We do so by using the wall, the walls of Jericho. So what this drill involves is getting your foot relatively close to the wall, say around a foot, placing the back foot for support, and then keeping the feet locked into the ground, pushing the knee towards the wall, keeping your heel planted on the ground and holding that for about 10-20 seconds. Once you've done that, take a wee step back, let it ease off and then step back in. Just getting that knee close to the wall, holding that position for 10-20 seconds. Obviously repeating both legs. That should get the ankles warmed up and at the same time also increase the range of motion over time if these are performed daily. Now, next one is a more fluid mobility routine, which is something I like to perform prior to starting a fitness class. The first exercise I like to go for is a glute bridge, just to bring the hamstrings into play, the hamstrings and the glutes. So we like to get ourselves planted on the ground, feet planted, and then 2 hands on, and I would go for about 10 reps. And what we're going to do is just lie back and just push the hips forward and back down. Push the hips up and back down. Push the hips up and back down. What I would then do is I would then extend one leg forward, keeping one leg planted on the ground, and just bring it up, using a wee bit of velocity or a wee bit of whip, snapping it up, just getting a dynamic stretch involved in your routine. Once I perform 10 reps in that leg, I would then change leg and fire it up. Instead of kicking somebody up the derriere who's insulted my family or got on my nerves. Then, once we've did that, what we're going to do is something that's a bit more audacious. We're going to do a roll back, we're going to open our legs, and we are going to touch our toes. And most of the times you won't have a dog here. Right, you beat it. So, rolling back, and then up, extending the legs, touching the toes. Rolling back, extending the legs, touching the toes. Rolling back, extending the legs, touching the toes. 10 reps. Then we're going to flip the body around. We're going to get into this position, into a press up position. We're going to go into the top of a press up, and then what we're going to do is we're going to bring the left leg forward and stretch in. We stretch in, we bring in the knee forward. We're keeping the back foot or toes planted on the ground. We hold that position, back into push-up position. Same again, planting that foot on the ground and extending that knee forward. Back, back, pushing forward. So you're getting that groin opened up as well, because we know that some guys have got groins that are as tight as elevator cables. So once we've performed 10 reps of each leg, we get back into push-up position. Now this is a stretch that can be done in 2 separate ways, and I'll show you both of them. Both of them can be quite difficult. One is more particularly difficult than the other. What we do is we lean forward, and then we let the knee behind rest on the ground, and we just hold that position. Now, the easy option is to keep the opposite arm planted on the ground, and with the free arm, extend away and hold that position for about 10-20 seconds. Okay? Then you get back into position, back into push-up position, bring the opposite leg in, back knee hitting the ground, and then we do exactly the same. We open up and we just hold that position like a yoga master, a yogi. Now, if you're feeling a wee bit brave and bold, because we all know that fortune favours the bold. We go back into this position, we get the knee back in, and what we do is we take the arm that's in the same side as the leg that's coming out, and we hold it at the ankle, and we extend away and hold that position. This is a tough stretch. You feel this in every part of your body, by the way. This is almost actually like a torture technique. Once we've done that for about 10 or 20 seconds, we get back into push-up position, opposite leg, adjacent hand, and we extend outwards and hold for 10-20 seconds. Okie doke. Once we've achieved that, what we're going to do is we're going to walk into a deep squatting position, or you can stand up, and then we're going to go into a deep squat. What I like to do at that point is to take my two hands, get my feet shoulder width apart, toes pointing out 10 to 2, slide down, hold that position. Okay, so now my elbows are tucked in at my knees. What I then do is I take my elbows and push my knees out, and then I just squeeze and push the knees outward. Just hold that position. Now what I like to do is, because I've got the mobility, some people might struggle with this, once I've held that for about 10 or 20 seconds, I'll bring my legs in a wee bit, and I'll go for a completely deep squat, as deep as I can. I don't care about my background and anything at this point. I'm just trying to get as deep as I can, just to increase hip mobility, and I just hold it and try and relax. That's it. As simple as simple does. The third world squat, I think it's called in some places. Okay, so that should be my lower body limbered up. So, what's the next protocol? The shoulders. We want to bring a dynamic stretch into the mix to get those shoulders warmed up for the last movement. What I like to do is I like to just kind of slightly soften the knees, take my two hands, place them outwards, and just start going. So what we're doing is we're doing a cross body dynamic style stretch. And I wish to go for 10, 20 reps. Whatever's good for you, just go for it, man. Enjoy the stretch. And then the last protocol, I wish to slow that a bit down. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my two hands, palms facing outwards, hold them in this position, behind the body, not in front of the body, but behind the body. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring them up slowly, touch, back down, touch, back down, and then just slowly increasing that speed over time for 10 and 20 reps, reperinos. What I tend to do as well is just pause at the top for a wee second, just putting a wee bit of tension in the shoulder blades, all the deltoids, in anticipation of those monster burpee routines. And that's it. That is the simple mobility routine that you can perform before you indulge in your tried and tested and truly beloved burpee routines. However, if performed on a daily basis, this hopefully will allow you to accumulate the mobility which is going to turn you from someone who can hardly get into that essential position to initiate burpees into a true burpee Jedi. Thank you guys.